the Huntsville Hornet. Here's Carlos Zimmerman and Brian Adams.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. How we doing tonight? Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We had an off week last week, and all of a sudden we have new Brian Adams. No, just messing with you. Joining us tonight is my guest host this evening. My regular sideline reporter is Luke Scott. Luke, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Y'all give a round of applause for this guy right here. He does a lot of great work for us.
Appreciate it, everyone. Appreciate it.
Folks, y'all may be, before we get underway this evening, y'all may be wondering where Brian Adams is this evening. He unfortunately lost his father on Monday, and so as you guys just go about your days, just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. If you follow us with the Bearcats, he will not be making the trip with me to Utah either. So just, Brian, if you're watching tonight, we love you. We're praying for you, and we hope to have you back here next week. All right, let's just dive right into it. Joining us, as always, is the main man of the hour, head coach Rodney Southern. Y'all give it up for head coach Rodney Southern this evening. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing really good.
Good deal. Glad to have you as always. I know it's been a little bit since we've had to chat with you. You had that off week last week. Just let's, as always, get an opening statement from you after 2 weeks ago in a win over Rudder.
Well, obviously it was a big win, probably the most complete game we've played to this point. All three phases of the game I thought were above average. There's still things that we're leaving on the field that hopefully we've cleaned up over these 2 weeks, but we've had a good opportunity. You know, you always look at your open week and you want it to be a benefit no matter where it falls, because a lot of times it's out of our control, and this was later in the year than what we're used to. But we got a lot of good work done last week with all our guys, freshmen included, and we've had a really good week. The cool weather, especially Tuesday morning, was really good, and we finished up really good today with a 2-minute drill. So I think we're ready to go.
Coach, when we look back at Rudder real quick, as we look back at it 2 weeks ago, like I said, first complete game really against the Vikings. Just ground game was electric with big plays. What'd you like out of your offense?
Well, I thought Braylon took a major step the other night because, you know, when you go from playing linebacker, and we've always repped him a little bit at running back, but he's never been the feature guy because he was obviously was valuable on the defensive side. When we made that switch with him and Jeremiah, moving Jeremiah to corner and moving Braylon to running back the first week, you know, I don't think he saw some things that, you know, you need to be able to see as a back. And obviously the first play from scrimmage that night, you know, he saw a hole and went 68 yards for a touchdown and had 186 yards rushing on, I think, 23 carries. So, you know, I was really, really pleased with that. And obviously that tells you our O-line was doing their job most of the night. But overall, I thought, again, you know, the plays that we made, the game was probably never out of reach, which you always feel like there's a point where you can say, okay, we've got this game secured, and that's tough, especially when you've had the ups and downs we've had through a season. But you know, I thought overall we handled number 2 and number 3 pretty well because they're big targets, and we kind of eliminated both of them basically. So overall, it was a good win. You know, anytime you get a district win, no matter what it looks like, you know, the first one was ugly. But that one was a much better game from start to finish, and now we've got to build on that and probably play the best team we've seen all year.
Coach, from the sideline, what I've noticed against Lamar Consolidated and last game against Rudder, the defensive line really getting after the quarterback. How was that unit up front really progressed this year?
Well, I think the biggest thing is our defensive ends have consistently gotten better, and we're able to rotate 4 or 5 guys inside. And people don't really understand, you know, if you watch colleges and obviously the pros is a little different because of personnel, but you watch colleges, a lot of teams rotate 3 to 9 defensive linemen interior. We can rotate 5 guys, which gives you some opportunities in critical situations, especially 3rd and long, to get a set of fresh guys in there. I think moving Sakari to defensive end was definitely a help. I think Zach, of course, who we're going to talk to tonight, I think Zach has gotten better. I told him last week, you know, I thought he has progressed from start to finish to this point probably as much as anybody on our football team. And I think some of that's experience, some of that's technique. Some of that's just the drive and the want to do what you got to do. But those guys can consistently play with 8 guys, and that's a big benefit because you don't always have that when you have numbers where a guy can truly be an end and a guy can truly be an inside guy.
Coach, want to flip back over to the offense real quick, and I asked you this morning when I spoke with you for our pregame segment. When you look at that quarterback room, you've had 3 guys roll through that position. You've had, of course, Jawan, who's been your main guy, Austin, who's been out with an injury, and then DeMarcus Williams has seen some stuff at the quarterback position. Just give me your thoughts on how you look to move forward at that QB1 spot.
Well, I think the biggest thing is all 3 of those guys, if we had to play them in a game, can play. Austin's cleared now from concussion protocol, and all that's always a little bit touchy because, number one, it's out of our hands. And then the time frame to heal from that is a doctor's time frame. So, but Austin's been cleared, and Austin's thrown the ball really well this week. Jawan's, I think, finally got his quarterback legs under him as far as what we're asking him to do. He's a running back playing quarterback, and I'm okay with that. So we are in a good position because it also allows us to use DeMarcus some at receiver because he's too good an athlete to be standing on the sideline. And now we have the capability, obviously, to go into a game to do multiple things. But, Jawan's played really well these last 2 weeks, and he gives us the thing that people don't realize when you get a guy like that, it gives us 11 on 11. And that's the game of football today where your quarterback, if he can be a running guy and a throwing guy, then you're playing 11 on 11 every snap. And, we've been able to do that the last 2 weeks, and obviously we're going to have to do that Friday night.
Coach, looking at the rest of the offense, your receiving core didn't have a whole lot of action against Rudder because of your just ground game working very well. But what did you like out of your receivers, and what are you going to be needing out of them going forward?
Well, we talk, and I joked with them today during our team pass period. Just catch the ball. Don't try to do, and that sounds very simple, but don't try to do too much. A lot of these guys are still young guys that are technically still probably a little bit inexperienced, but I thought they blocked well down the field, and probably one of the biggest plays was Savion had an opportunity on Braylon's big run to go hit a guy and probably hit him. It would have been close to blocking in the back. Well, he didn't block. So, that tells me at least he's learning, when to be the factor and when not to be, because, that could have called back a 68-yard touchdown. So, but when we ask them to catch the ball, they're going to have to catch the ball in traffic, and they're definitely going to have to catch the ball in traffic this week.
Coach, now flipping back over to the defense, just an absolute stellar ball game against the Rangers. You shut them out in 3 of the 4 quarters. You only gave up 10 points in the second. They laid just some massive hits. Sakari and then Zach, who we'll have on the show tonight, just laid some big hits. How do they keep the pace up?
Well, I think, number one, just like what we talked about a while ago, the ability to play 8 or 9 guys there on a consistent basis. And when you can do that, it's okay at times to intermix those guys. It doesn't have to be your 2 starters and your 2 backups. It can be a combination of them. And there are situations where you need the faster or the better pass rusher, or you need the bigger, more physical guy, depending on where you are on the field. So I think that's number one. Number two is, we've been pretty consistent the last 2 or 3 weeks in the secondary, not giving up the big play, and that's where Lake Creek for the last 8 weeks, they have created big play after big play. So we've obviously got to be very cautious of that, but at the same time, we got to be able to at times take a chance and go hit their quarterback because he's the key. The running back's a great player, but I still think the quarterback is the key to what makes him go.
Luke, did you have anything else for him?
No, that's it for me.
Okay. There's one question that just popped into my mind that I haven't had a chance to ask you about. That blocked kick by Cole Schroeder against Rudder, just incredible. And the way he ran that back, I lost my mind. Brian lost his mind whenever he did that. We thought he was just going to take it to the house. Special teams was one of those phases of the game that you were looking to get a big play out of, and you got one right there because that really, in my mind, set the tone for the second half.
Yeah, but we had a discussion that Tuesday when we watched film, because most of the time in that situation, a blocked field goal on your side of the field, you need to leave it alone. Because if he were to get hit right there and fumble the ball, then it's 1st and 10 for them again. But we got good penetration up front, and Kadarian easily actually blocked the kick, and Cole instinctively, you pick that ball up. But, I thought for 68 of those 70-something yards that he ran with it, I thought he was going to have an opportunity to score, which would have been a huge play right before the half. But you got to be really careful with that play, understanding what the situation is on the field, because that's just like a punt. And you bobble that ball and they get on it, now it's 1st down for them because you've created a live ball. And Cole understands that, but I know what Cole was thinking. He won't score a touchdown.
Coach, just final takeaways from Rudder before we take a break.
Well, I thought it was a good win on the road. To get 2 district wins back-to-back like that after we probably didn't play our best game against Montgomery puts us in a good position going into this week, and obviously puts us in a good position for the next 3 weeks.
All right, folks, we're going to step aside and take a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look ahead to the matchup with Lake Creek coming up Friday night. It'll be a good one, a doozy of a ball game. So stick with us here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live tonight from Chick-fil-A and presented by Diana K. Barnes, State Farm Insurance.
Hi, folks. Clint Mack here with Wiesner in Huntsville. Do you need a new vehicle with great gas mileage? Do you want to save some money and not pay over MSRP or have to purchase the dealer add-ons? You need to come to Wiesner in Huntsville, where we are home of the bottom line. Not only do we not charge over MSRP, but if you qualify for support discounts, we'll honor that. And anyone else that might qualify for support discounts. Ask ourselves to look into it and see if your company qualifies. So if you want a great deal on a General Motors vehicle, come to Wiesner in Huntsville, where we are home of the bottom line.
We all know that buying a vehicle is expensive, and that means you do what you can to maintain that vehicle. The same standard goes for your heating and cooling system. That is why Gilbert Mechanical would highly recommend a seasonal tune-up. A seasonal tune-up will save you money, prevent breakdowns, prolong equipment life, diagnose minor problems before they become major ones. Manufacturer maintenance appointment, heating and cooling system today. Call me Gilbert Mechanical at 936-291-2640.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live tonight from Chick-fil-A. Yeah, Matthew. Good to have you all here in the house tonight here at Chick-fil-A. Big thank you to the folks here at Chick-fil-A for always having us. Myself, alongside Luke Scott here this evening with head coach Rodney Southern. As we move on into our second segment here, we take a look ahead to the matchup with Lake Creek. Coach, on paper, just a juggernaut you're going up against when you look at them. They're 8-0, undefeated in district play. I mean, only one game this year where they won by single digits, and that was their season opener, and they've just gone from there. What's your thoughts on the Lions?
Well, they're a very good football team. When we finished practice today, I told our guys, I said, as you go through your district season, the closer you get to the end of the season and hopefully the playoffs, the tougher the opponent should be. This team is, this is 4 years in the making for them. Their freshman class a year ago was really, really talented. Obviously, they're a big running back, and they're dressing 10 sophomores, very similar to what we are. They actually are dressing this Friday night. They're going to dress 2 freshmen. So they're a lot like a lot of the teams in our district, that they're young, but they're not young in the critical positions. Their O-line, they've got 2 to 3 seniors that'll start there. All 3 of their D linemen are seniors. Their quarterback's a senior. 3 of the 4 guys in their back half, linebackers and safeties, are seniors. So they're getting the mileage out of the guys that have been a part of their program now for 4 years. And some of those guys played as freshmen and sophomores because they were just getting their program off the ground. And Pat, the head coach, has done a good job. He and I talk a lot because, he and I are about the same age. We've kind of had the same type of career. So he's done a really good job of getting that program where they are today. But I told our guys today, I said, nobody's challenged them and really gone after them. And, we're going to go after them. Now, what that ends up doing, there's no way to know till it happens Friday night. But you got to go challenge people like this, because if you sit back, they're going to make plays because they're too talented in the key positions. And the quarterback and the running back have kind of grinded on people, especially late in the third quarter. The running back becomes a factor in the game. So we're going to have to do everything we can. And I told him today, I said, we got to have 3 or 4 green hats on him every time he touches a football. So, and don't give up the big plays. But they're a talented football team and well deserving of where they are. I think I saw something last night. They're scoring 58 points a game, and they're ranked number 1 in a lot of different things. And I know we've been in that situation before. That ranking can probably hamper you more than it helps you, especially at this stage. So,
Coach, 2-0 at home. How important is that home crowd here for this team? I know you call it a young team, and you don't like to call it a young team, but in a lot of positions it is. How critical is that home crowd?
Well, I think just playing at home, the way our schedule ended up working out, and it was twofold, the reason we did it. Number one, some of it was out of our control, but the other part of it is, hopefully this time next year we're sitting here talking about a brand-new stadium. And home field advantage, I think, is important just because of your routine. We still get on a bus and go to the stadium, but it's obviously a much shorter drive. We've won games now both at home and on the road, so the trip is more them than it is us, and hopefully it's to our advantage, the fact that they do have to go on the road. They have not had a lot of success in Bauer Stadium, which is good for us, but you still got to go play the game, and the circumstances within the confines of the game don't change a whole lot, but it's good that our next 2 of our next 3 are at home.
Coach, when I spoke with you this morning, looking at Lake Creek specifically, you told me that their sophomore running back is critical to their success, but the quarterback's the trigger point. Expound on that.
Well, I just think he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's thrown, I think, 13 or 14 touchdowns in district, and he's got 1 interception. So he doesn't make the big error in a game, and he runs just enough to keep you off balance, but yet, he's good enough to make the plays he's got to make. And then they do some things on their 2-point plays that have created lots of problems for people, and I think they scored 3 2-point plays against Brian Rudder, and 2 of them were basically walk-ins. So, I think they've got a lot of faith in him. He's a big kid. They've got him listed, I think, at 6'3", but he looks bigger than that. He's probably 210, 215 pounds. So, he's just a guy that, as a high school quarterback, when you're a senior in high school, it's what you want, because you can tell they go to the sideline and they make a correction, and he can handle it in the game. So the key for us, obviously, is to get as much penetration and hit him as many times as we can.
Coach, defensively, you look at Lake Creek, 7 points against Rudder, but 55 points against Montgomery. And I know it's a rivalry game, but what do you see on their defense-wise? What do you see on them?
Well, we got a chance to see them live against Rudder, and Rudder got in the red zone 5 times and scored 3 points. And that's for us, and I've even told our guys, I said, if they'd have just kicked 5 field goals, they kicked a field goal the first drive, they went straight down the field and scored. Montgomery was up at one point 21-0 on Lake Creek, or 21-7. So, people have scored on them, but the thing about them, because they are experienced, they're very mature, they don't panic, they don't get in a rush, okay, we got to go score 21 points. They just methodically do what they do, and they're consistent at it. So, for us and for them, that rivalry game, against Montgomery, you can kind of throw that out the window, but I think at the same time they look at us. I told our guys today, 4 years ago we beat them 77-7, and that was early in their program, and I'm sure some of those kids that are out there probably were a part of that. I know one for sure that was, and guys don't forget that. And it wasn't that we did it on purpose. It was just a young program that was very, very inexperienced, and I'm sure they'd love to return the favor.
Coach, have things been in practice this week? You've had an off week to get you guys prepared and really well rested too. It's really been your first break all year long. Just how are they feeling?
Well, I think we're good. We're probably as healthy, at this point, especially this point of the season. We practiced 3 days last week. We got a chance to do a lot of film work last week. We got a chance, obviously, to start on Lake Creek last Thursday and then see them live. We gave the guys the weekend off again so they can just recover and get prepared. And obviously this week the weather has been really good. When it gets cool, it's it's a lot easier to bounce around and do things at practice. And I thought yesterday was a good practice. I thought today was even better. And I told them today, I said, we've got to go after these guys. This is a game that, every game's got a bearing on the playoffs, but we win this game, we don't make the playoffs yet. We lose this game, we're not out of the playoffs yet. So there's still a lot of football left, but this is also a game where we've got to go challenge them and try to make one more play than they make and be close in the fourth quarter and see what happens.
Coach, what's been the message to your staff through this bye week?
Relax, probably more than anything. Coaches, we work, Saturday and Sunday all through the season. We had an opportunity to have a weekend off and then came back this past week. We worked Friday and Friday night watching them play. We also sent our freshman coaches to watch Brenham, who we have next week. So we got to look at two of our opponents. And then at that point, just kind of relax because this next push is 3 straight weeks and hopefully getting ready for a 4th, 5th, and 6th week after that.
Coach, for you guys defensively, it's been critical that you guys have been playing well on the defensive side of the ball. Which phase is going to be critical for your success against Lake Creek?
Well, I think our D-line obviously has got to play well. We can't give up the big play, and they've made big plays, whether it's a screen game. They threw a halfback pass for a touchdown the other night. They threw the ball back to their other quarterback. So don't give up the big play on defense. And then offensively, drive the ball and keep the ball on our side. And obviously, if we're running the football and having success running the ball, that means their offense is standing on the sideline. And, Coach, I know it's at least on my experience with coaches I've spoke with before, when it comes time for playoffs, you don't like to talk about it too much, but it's on the horizon. It's no doubt about that. It has to be on your mind with 3 games remaining and with the case of you guys really being in control of your own destiny going forward. Yeah, the bottom line is we got 3 games left, and today, other than Lake Creek, because they haven't had their open week yet, they've won 4 district games, so on paper, I think they're already in, but everybody else is, fighting for potentially 3 of the last 4 spots, and I think this weekend will determine some of that. But the way the open dates fall for Brenham, Lake Creek, and Montgomery, there's still a lot of football. It could come down to the last week. You may know the 4 teams, but you're not going to know the order, even the last week of the season. And it may be 5 teams at that point. But I don't call anybody. I've had a couple people call me already, and I'm like, I don't know any more than I knew yesterday, because my focus is on this week, and then the focus will be next week. And it's hard because you do have to prepare at some point for that, but I do that quietly where nobody else hears it, and I'll know what it is, and Lisa Blackburn will know what it is, but the rest of the people will probably won't. So, because you can't lose your focus on the most important thing, which is this Friday night, and then Saturday, and then Monday.
Coach, to wrap it all up, keys to a win to improve to 3-1 and put yourself in a really good spot to make a run at the district title.
Run the football, score points, score touchdowns instead of field goals. One big play in the special teams, which I think we've got that. And Coach Kennedy and I joke, we've run a fake punt on him the last 2 years, and he told me a couple weeks ago that we were not going to run a fake punt on him. So I'm probably not going to run a fake punt on him, but hopefully we'll do something else. And then defensively, don't give up the big play.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Y'all give it up for head coach Rodney Southern here tonight.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we will move into the player segments. And kicking us off tonight is the senior offensive lineman, Nathan Schweitzer, to start us off tonight. So he'll be up here when we come back here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live tonight from Chick-fil-a.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes is your go-to agent in Walker County for the service you deserve at the price you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has you covered. Call 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Huntsville Family Dental is accepting new patients. Experienced and your helps ensure a pleasant, anxiety-covered dental experience. Only $49 for exam and x-rays for new cash patients. Still at home at Huntsville Family Dental. From the friendly front office to the dedicated back chair, all your questions will be answered, and you will leave with a smile and comfort knowing your dental needs have been addressed. Just smile. Call Huntsville Family Dental at 295-5437. That's 295-5437.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show, live tonight from Chick-fil-A. How we doing? Come on. Yes. That's what I love to hear. It's good stuff, good stuff. Carlos Zimmerman here alongside of Luke Scott. And joining us now from the team is offensive lineman, senior offensive lineman. I've been looking forward to having you on, Nathan Schweitzer. Y'all give it up for Nathan tonight. Come on. Nathan, how you doing, man?
Doing very good.
Doing good. Good stuff, good stuff. How have you been enjoying your senior season so far?
I've been enjoying it a lot. I've got to grow closer with my other O-linemen and other teammates, and it's been really nice.
That's good. That's good. Really, what's been the pure highlight from your season so far? Because, not a lot of people, talk about the offensive line as much, but what's been the highlight for you?
Honestly, the Rudder game was really good. We won, and as an offensive line, I felt like we got a lot closer going into that, and then going into the open week, it was just really nice for us to go closer as teammates, and then I felt like this week going into Lake Creek and everything, I feel like we're really confident.
Yeah, so how do you feel like you've progressed from the beginning of the year to this year, or to this point?
Yes, sir. Just technique. Our coaches harp on just constant repetition, mental reps and physical reps. We do a lot more small drills than we have in the past, especially geared towards a stretch play, which is, we just stretch out the running back along with the O-line, and then they find a gap and we cut up. And just, it all starts with the basics, hands, and then feet work, and then progressing up to team with the running backs and O-line together against the defense, and it just helps with our technique, and I feel like we've grown a lot along that play and along with other plays.
Nathan, let me ask you, just what or who really got you into playing football?
Well, I love the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
so,
that's my guy.
Tony Romo. I definitely loved him. I was a big Romo fan, and he went as commentator, so I was so happy that he was in at least the football spectrum. But that, and then just watching the NFL, I thought that was, cool. Of course, as a little kid, I was like, man, I'm going to be a star receiver. And then first football practice, O-line. so I was.
Hey, you're a natural
yes,
Zach
sir.
Martin. I'll give you
Yes,
that.
sir.
I'll give you that. Hello. We're awake now, right?
So why did they put you at offensive line? How much do you enjoy offensive line?
I love it now. As a kid, I was definitely a lot shorter and a little bit bigger. I had a lot more baby fat on me. So that's why I was really put there. They've shifted me, though, as I've kind of gotten slimmed down. Defensive line. I remember one year, a couple games, they put me at H-back, and so that was fun. But I've always come back to O-line. I've always enjoyed it the most because I feel like my technique is geared towards it, even though my body stature is not as big as Thomas Rose or Chris Smith or anything. But, I feel like my technique is definitely where it should be in the O-line.
So, Nathan, looking back against Rudder, and let's even go further back to Lamar Consol, you guys did a phenomenal job. You taking care of Jawan, and whenever he had to throw, or whenever you were making the holes for him and Braylon to run through, just talk to us a bit about 2 weeks ago against Rudder.
Against Rudder?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, we went into the game, and it was kind of odd because we had, I think it was Columbus Day, it was a holiday.
Yeah,
we had a holiday, so it was just odd not going to school and then going through my regular day. But we got to the locker room, and it was like we had our meal, and we did everything like we normally did once we got to the locker room. So it didn't seem any different. And then before the game, Coach Brock just got us together. He's like, I love you boys. And he asked us each individually. He's like, do you love the game? Do you want to play? Like, do you love the game? And we were all like, yeah. And so it just was like a confidence boost. Like, we all got each other's backs. And so going into the game, the first play was amazing. We had that opening run, and we were all, like, kind of sitting there like, oh. And we all ran down to the end zone and celebrated. And I felt like that really just got us a really big confidence boost as an O-line. And then we had another big play later in the game, and it just kept growing for us. And then we always come back on the sideline after a drive, no matter if it was an up or a down play. It was just, we all came back and we were like looking at each other like, we're going to protect this guy, we're going to do whatever we can for him, and we're going to work together as a group.
Yeah, so you talked about your group and the offensive line unit. How tight is that unit? Because I know offensive line, sometimes a quirky kind of bunch, but y'all are always together.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about it.
We're very, very quirky, but it's great having each other because I feel like no matter what, I always have someone's back, and they have my back. Just especially with, like, a guard, tackling guards are tight, center and guards are tight. It's all connected, and it's just nice because it's not an individual person, A tackle can't decide, oh, I'm going to do great this play and not help him out, like do whatever I want to do. It just all falls apart. So it just starts with us, and if we have each other's back and we go into the game strong or anything, just knowing that we're going to do the best together, then I feel like we can do anything.
Now, I want to talk about your seniors specifically, yourself, Chris Smith, Cesar, Thomas Rose, Micah Fisher, Mason Black, Thomas Knapp. Did I cover all of them? Did I miss any? All right, good deal. Senior offensive linemen, I've never seen in my years of covering high school football just a tight, packed, knit group of offensive linemen that are all seniors. What's that chemistry been like, having to get to build it over the years up through freshman, JV, and up to varsity?
It's been really good. We had Thomas and Chris, and then Micah came along. He moved schools and then came back to us. But, and we all just kind of over, I think it was spring, and then just this summer, we were all just always together, taking reps together, having ups and downs together. But just as seniors, we all have we're all graduating and everything, so we're just trying to spend as much time, and, getting to grow as much as we can as a team and as teammates as we can just before we graduate, before the season's over. But we're loving it. We're having a great time.
Nathan, looking ahead at Lake Creek, is there anything that really stands out to you from their front seven?
They have, from film and mental rips that we've been taking, they have pretty good, I think it's a backer, number 10 and number 1. They're one of our two guys we need to look out for. So for the plays, as long as we cover the front ones and move up to those two guys, we should be pretty solid as a team and as a front line. We should set the edge.
Now, you personally, what really helps you prepare for a ball game most, since you have a different way of preparing than other positions?
Well, it's mainly, we always have to have a pregame meal, so as an O-line and as a team, so that always helps. We usually meet in the end zones whenever we arrive at the field, and we just go back to the basics, just running regular plays and just getting reps, and then it's just, that's it, really. I don't have anything special.
So Coach Brock, your offensive line coach, he's played in college, played in the NFL a little bit. How much have you learned from him?
A lot. Him and Coach Saint, both of them. We got Coach Brock, I believe, our sophomore year is when he came in. And so he was really where we kind of started off, especially with our senior group, because we were all on JV and a couple on varsity, but mainly on JV. And when he came in, Coach Lott was coaching the varsity, and we had Coach Brock. And we loved Coach Brock. He was awesome. And he's very knowledgeable in the sport, very knowledgeable in the positions. I mean, he coaches multiple, but, I mean, it's just whatever he teaches us, I always have full confidence that it's going to be the best thing that I'm taught, and I might as well, do it, be coachable, because I know he has the experience from it.
Now, what have you learned most, and answer this carefully because he's in the house tonight, what did you learn most from head coach Rodney Southern?
The most I've learned from Coach Rodney Southern is just being a leader, having really good ethics. He always talks about how we act in the school building and on the field. And I feel like in the school building and anywhere else in public, we represent the Huntsville Hornets and the athletics in the school. And we just always need to show leadership characteristics and just always put on our best look for others and just be the leaders of the school. But, yes, sir.
That's good. That's very good. That's a good attitude to have. Now, you mentioned you're a senior. Now, whether it be on the field or off the field, what kind of impact do you hope to leave behind once high school's done?
Just the impact of play hard, be coachable, always listen to your coaches. I feel like they deserve a lot of respect for what they do for us, all the amount of effort and time they put into teaching us, because I feel like if they didn't love us as players and want to coach us, then what they were telling us wouldn't matter. But I feel like it matters fully, and I feel like we should listen to it, all of it, take it all in, and just play with your best effort.
So, Nathan, what kind of music you like listening to before game? You know, what's kind of your pregame routine there?
Well, it's odd. Nobody likes it because it stinks up the locker room and stuff, but I make a pregame breakfast meal every morning, and it consists of, like, ramen noodles, and then scrambled eggs, and I make a big batch of it. It's got a lot of carbs and protein, two things that, really just, give me energy through the day. I always eat it before football games and in the morning. For music, I like rap. I like 21 Savage. That's my favorite rapper.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need to delve further into this meal.
It sounds nasty, but I promise it helps. It helps a lot.
You put like sauce on? You like soy sauce or anything? Hot sauce?
It's the little
the seasoning
the
packet?
seasoning
Okay.
packet and the eggs and then ramen noodles and it's
Okay,
just
is it the chicken kind do you get, or do you get okay?
the chicken. Yes, sir. Yeah, the chicken. That's
You've saved yourself
okay. So,
because that's
I'm telling
that's
you,
the
they
best
don't
time.
they don't like it, but I'm telling you, it works.
Works.
Whatever works for you. That's a first for me. Nathan, who's someone that just really inspires you to be the best that you can be?
If there's a specific someone, I'm not trying to play favorites, but Coach Southern. I feel like through the years, I've always just looked up to him as a leader and then just shown leadership skills through it, especially with ethics and what to represent in and out of the school, in public, and on the field. Otherwise than that, my parents, how much they do for me, I'd love to do that. For everyone else, they always do so much for me, and I always look up to them.
Are you involved in any other extracurricular activities outside of sports?
Well, I'm in a lot of national organizations. I'm in, like, National Honor Society, National Technical Honor Society, National English Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, and I was in the Chick-fil-a Leadership Club last year, but I can't go in it again. Other than that, no, sir.
Now, is there anything else that you do that's fun off the field?
I love to fish. I love to hunt. Love to do that.
That's a good Texas man right there.
I love to do, I love to play baseball. It's my second sport. So I love to play, like, blitzball. You know what that is?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah, I love to do blitzball, but just mainly fish and hunt. I love that.
What do you play in baseball?
I play outfield, mainly right field. I play first base.
What do you like about that compared to football?
Compared to football, I love it because I've played it whenever I was a little kid, so it's my first love. But I always loved baseball because I love to hit. When I was on a team, I used to be one of the biggest kids, so I would hit the ball, but then I got older, and I was just like, some kids are pretty good, and they hit the ball a lot harder, but I just love it because it's a challenge, and there's a lot of other really good athletes that play it, and I love to just try and put in that effort and match up to their abilities.
Folks, if you're just joining us, we're talking with offensive lineman Nathan Schweitzer, and I'm glad I have everyone's attention in here right now because it's 6:39 and the Astros just threw their first pitch. So, I'm glad we got everyone's attention. I promise we will get you out of here before the game is over. So just continuing along here, bear with us. Nathan, if there was another position that you could play other than offensive line, what is it?
I'd love to be a kicker or a punter. I'd love to do that. I know they have some pressures in the game. I feel like everyone does, but just to go out there and kick, have one responsibility, I feel like it'd make life a lot easier.
That's pretty good. I only did that because we had a really good streak of not having anyone say that they wanted to be a kicker and punter.
I want to be a kicker.
But hey, nothing wrong with that though. Nothing wrong with that.
So you already talked about your pregame meal, but that can't be your favorite meal to eat. What is your favorite meal to eat?
That's tough. I like a lot of food. I'd say probably fried chicken from Farmhouse. Oh, I love that.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
That's very good. Do you have a favorite video game in particular? Or are you not really a video game guy?
I'm not really a video game guy. If I do play a video game, I kind of got into Madden, again, Madden Mobile, but I don't have a game station, I don't have any of that. No, sir, just mostly mobile games.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, so you talked about hunting and fishing. What's your favorite thing to hunt after? Because I like dove hunting, I love deer hunting. But what's your favorite thing to hunt?
I love dove hunting, but it falls in with football. So once I hit high school, it was really hard to
get out there,
find time to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But I love dove hunting. Deer hunting is also my favorite. I know it gets really cold, and it takes a while to get used to just sitting in the stand and waiting for them to come out. But once you get it, I mean, it feels very rewarding, and I just love to hunt. And then fishing, you know, me and my dad always have a competition to see who's going to catch the most. So I love that competitive nature we have with each other. But I like fishing, or technically I like catching, not fishing. So I like just being able to catch and not. But sometimes when it gets slow and everything, it's just really hard. But yes, sir.
So what's the biggest bass you've ever caught?
Nothing big. Probably was it 6 or 7 pounds. It wasn't nothing special. But I did catch the biggest fish I've ever caught was probably a redfish, and it was about 22.5 inches.
Wow.
So.
Wow. I couldn't even get close. All right, you already said you love watching the Cowboys.
Hey, America's team now.
You will come to realize, folks, that Luke is also a very big Cowboys mark. Do you have a favorite college football team that you like to watch?
I don't watch a lot of college football. My mom was always taught me to be a Longhorn. A&M's not welcome in our household, except my brother loves them, so it's always a very big split in the house whenever that goes on. But no, sir, I guess I've just always looked at Texas. I mean, I don't really watch college football that much.
Well, I looked at the projection today that they're projecting that A&M and Texas are going to match up in a bowl game this year. So,
oh, wow. Well, that will be
so that will be very
thanks for the heads up.
Do you have a favorite pro team outside of football? In other sports?
Baseball, Astros.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
Baseball, Astros. Other than that, no, sir. That's baseball and football are usually what I'll watch.
Yeah, so what's your favorite subject in school?
This year? Or like just previous?
No, we can do like your favorite class you've ever taken in high school.
Well, I really love welding. That's a great trade to have. I feel like it'll take me far in life because it'll be always something I can fall back on or pursue in. I love my teacher, Mr. Sockwell. He has very good ethics on just working hard, putting in your best effort, showing up, putting the full 2 hours in at welding, just working on perfecting the trade. So I really love it.
Now, what are your plans for after high school and for your career?
I plan on going to college and pursuing a degree in mechanical engineering or welding engineering. If I can do that, there's a specific school at Turno that offers that. I've been looking at. I've also applied to schools like Texas Tech. I'm applying to Tarleton. I've applied at Sam Houston, Blinn. I've applied at LeTourneau, but yes, sir, those are the main colleges I've applied for.
That's awesome. It's good to have a plan for that. All right, before we let you go, Nathan, do you have anybody you want to give a shout out to this evening?
Main shout out, Miss Sherry. She always takes care of us in the locker room, takes care of us boys. I want to make sure I shout out her. Shout out to all my coaches, my teammates, my mom, dad, family, Shelby, Miss Shelley, Matthew, my main supporters, all my family. And so I just love y'all, and I thank y'all for supporting me and supporting our team.
All right, there you have it. Give it up for Nathan Schweitzer here this evening with us.
Thank y'all.
All right, and we're going to get an appearance from Matthew tonight.
Here we go.
Okay.
There you go. There you have it.
Break time.
All right,
break
Nathan, thank you for coming on tonight. And, folks, we're going to step aside and take a break. Zach Moss is going to join us next from the defensive line, so we'll stick around here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show, live tonight from Chick-fil-A.
Hello, friends. This is Carlos Zimmerman with this week's edition of The Right Call, presented by Jeff Hitt Family Law. With 6 seconds remaining last Saturday, Sam Houston Bearcats football trailed the Eastern Kentucky Colonels 17-16. Rather than going for the touchdown, head coach Casey Keeler made the right call by sending out his All-American kicker Seth Morgan for a 33-yard field goal try to win the game.
3 for 3 tonight. Jaden Cardell is the holder to win the game. Morgan, right to the leather, flying through the air, and it is good! Seth Morgan, ice in his veins, 33 yards, and it puts Sam Houston in front with 3 seconds left to go. What a kick!
The Right Call is presented by Jeff Hitt Family Law.
Sometimes life throws you a curveball.
You're out!
When it does, make the right call. Jeff Hitt, local attorney with over 30 years of experience. Jeff Hitt will walk you through your options and represent your needs, protecting your future. Jeff Hitt is an expert in Texas child custody laws and knows how to protect you in a complicated family matter. Make the right call. Jeff Hitt. 9
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. Matthew's rocking out over here. He's having a good time tonight. We welcome you back on the show. Joining us now from the defensive line, sophomore Zach Moss. Y'all give it up for Zach here tonight. Zach, how you doing, man?
I'm kind of nervous.
No, you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. We're glad to have you. Hey, first, I want to give you a big congratulations. A couple of weeks ago, since we didn't have the show last week, you were named Walker County Player of the Week. Y'all give it up for him on that, Walker County Player of the Week, for your performance against Rudder. First year on varsity, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
And what's that been like for you?
It's been a big, it's been a big step. I feel like I'm maturing a little bit, and
Yeah, how different is the lower levels, the freshman and JV compared to varsity?
It's just a big step, you know.
I understand. What have you liked really just throughout this season so far?
I've liked playing with the D-line. I mean, we get along good.
Good. That's good. I mean, you got Kadarian on there. You got Jadarius Smith. Sakari, I'm sure, has been a joy.
Yes, sir.
Having on the defensive line. We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago. Looking back 2 weeks ago, you guys played so well on defense. I mean, not allowing any points in the first, third, and fourth quarter. You were a big playmaker. I called your name quite a couple of times, just laying down, best way to describe it, just laying the smack down on some guys from Rudder. I mean, just how did it feel out there against the Rangers?
It felt good. It felt like after you make that first tackle, you know, I kind of just there's a switch.
It kind of gets you into it. Yeah.
It's a good feeling to have. Let me ask you, just what really goes through your mind before every snap? You're just focused on getting to the quarterback or the running back and laying the big hit? What goes through your head?
First, I just see what the O-line, the O-tackle does, and from there I make a decision what I'm going to do is pass rush. I have to have a pass rush in my mind before I go, and that's what I do.
Good.
So looking at Lake Creek 8-0, what have you seen in the film room on their offensive line unit and really the running game and passing game in general? What have you seen that y'all can exploit here?
Their O-tackles are pretty good, but their hands are down every time. I don't know.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So they're just kind of like staying packed and not ready to just battle up against you. Well, hey, that could play to your advantage. Let me ask you this. I asked Nathan this. What's really been the best piece of advice you received from a teammate or one of your coaches?
Arthur stands on the sideline a lot, and he kind of gives me advice on what I should do, like watching me out there in practice. And on the games, he'll give me advice on how I may help it.
It's good. Let me ask you this. What are you looking really forward to most in these last 3 games? They're big ones at that, but what are you looking forward to?
Getting better, making plays, running better twists too.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Like when we have twist plays, just executing them more and trying to hit what I'm supposed to hit. Right?
What's been let me ask you this. What's really been just your favorite moment from the season so far?
I'd have to say the A&M game.
Okay.
That first sack I got, that was pretty nice.
That's right.
Yeah, so we asked Nathan about the offensive line unit. How tight is that defensive unit? How is y'all's chemistry? How have you just talk about like the everyday, talk between y'all?
Me and Nathan?
No. You and the defensive line.
Me and Nathan. We talk. I'm gonna pickle.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I want to ask specifically about one of your defensive linemen. Since Akari's been moved up to D line, what's he been like? Just from your perspective. I mean, he just when against Rudder, he just had no regard for human life and just absolutely bodied a couple of their guys. What's he been like?
Yeah, it's kind of a 1-2 punch there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a rough, like, big hitter. He's a big guy, and I mean, the way he talks, it just sounds like
football.
Yeah, football.
Do you have any pregame routines that you go through? Loud music, certain meal,
I have my
ramen and scrambled eggs?
No. I have my AirPods in all day, but that's about it.
What do you listen to?
Listen to anything. Beginning of the day, I listen to country, and then I'll get into, like, rap.
You got your progression system there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, so what's your favorite food?
Cheeseburgers.
Ooh.
Everywhere I go.
Well, what goes on it? Just meat and cheese?
Mustard, pickles, lettuce.
All the good stuff.
You lost me at the mustard, but it's okay. But do you have anybody that you really look up to? Someone that's really a big hero in your life?
My dad, he definitely talks to me a lot about football. And he kind of, like, pushes me through stuff.
Do you do any kind of extracurricular activities outside of football?
No, sir.
Just football?
Yes, sir.
Ground and pound. There you go. Is there another position that you'd want to play outside of D-line?
Tight end.
Tight end. Why tight end?
Oh, I played it before.
Okay.
But I would like to go back to it. Like on 7 and 7, I played tight end, and I felt like I did all right there. So
You want to score touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you lay a big hit, grab, land on that ball, take off and run with it. You got
Yes,
that
sir.
too. Are you now Nathan wasn't much of a video guy, but are you a video game guy kind of guy?
I was until I started, like, when I got in high school, I started taking football a lot more seriously.
There
and
you go.
Just kept going.
It's the right attitude to have. I might be over 2 on that question, but it's okay. Do you have a favorite professional or college team that you like to watch?
I've been watching college recently, and, like, the Tennessee and Alabama game, where Tennessee beat Alabama, was kind of a good game.
Awesome.
What'd you think about that? Tearing down the goalposts and everything, just enjoying that? I mean, the pageantry of that game was really exciting to watch. Do you have a favorite athlete, professional, college?
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett.
I like to watch him. He's a DN for the Browns.
Yeah. I was just trying to remember where he went. A&M. He went to A&M. Yeah, it's good.
So what do you most like about school? What's your favorite subject? Who's been your favorite, like, teacher through because you're a sophomore, so your first 2 years?
I'd say chemistry. I like chemistry because I just like all the elements and things. I like to feel smart when I'm doing it.
It makes stuff explode.
Yeah, I sucked at chemistry.
Don't even get me started on how chemistry went for me in high school. Let's just say they don't allow me back in the building. Yeah. All right, Zach. Before we let you go, do you have anybody you want to give a big shout out to?
My mom, my dad, Nathan. He's pretty good at O-line, and he gives me a challenge every day. Arthur Sandals, good friend of mine. Zaku.
Yeah. Always got to give him a shout out. All right, y'all give it up for Zach Moss here this evening, joining us tonight. And given that we still have 6 minutes left on the show, coming up next will be Miss Casey Kroll from the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club. She'll get you up to speed on what's going on in Hornet Nation. So stick around. We'll take one final break and be back here in a few moments.
Residents of Huntsville and Walker County now have a new choice when seeking a board-certified orthopedic surgeon, as Huntsville Memorial Hospital welcomes orthopedic surgeon Dr. Jeffrey Spa as the medical director of orthopedics. Practicing for over 20 years, Dr. Jeff Spa brings you the experience you demand and expert health care you deserve to get your hips, knees, and back moving again. Call the hospital now for more information or visit their website at huntsvillememorial.com. Quality health care in Huntsville at Huntsville Memorial Hospital. It's your health, our community, our commitment.
You might know that State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has great service. She has been your good neighbor agent for 35 years after all. But did you know that State Farm has surprisingly great rates? Yep, that's right. Along with good neighbor service, State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has surprisingly great rates for everyone in Walker County. So call State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes at 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, final segment here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. Glad you're with us tonight. Carlos Zimmerman here alongside of Luke Scott. And joining us now from the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club is President Casey Kroll. Y'all give it up for Miss Casey.
Thank you.
All right, Casey, what you got on tap for us tonight?
We have got a lot of stuff going on. This Friday night, if you have a Hornet buddy, you need to be at the scoreboard at 6:45. All 150 Hornet buddies would be awesome. And then Coach Elliott's wife will hate me forever. But we want all 150 kids to show up. Remember, you wear your Hornet Buddy shirt, you get in free. Mom and Dad pay for your ticket. The students will get to stand next to a player during the national anthem. We're also taking a group photo that night if we can get everyone there on time. On November the 4th, yes, opening weekend of deer season, we're going to have a tailgate at the stadium from 5 to 7. Anybody is welcome to come out. We're going to be doing all sorts of different activities. We're still getting all this in the works, so we need more people to come to the meeting on Monday at 6 at the field house. Give us your input. Give us your ideas. If you want to participate, please let us know, and that's the time to do it. We also have freshman game tomorrow night at 5. Sorry, I'm bad at timing. We have it at 5 at the high school, so come out, support the freshmen. And there's also a school board meeting right down the hill over at the admin building. So if you want to be a part of that, come in and join them.
All right, there you have it. Casey, if anyone who may be tuning in for the first time, just what can folks in Hornet Nation do to help you guys out?
We need all the help we can get. This is all parent group support. We are here to help our players get whatever they need, not just in football. We help in the organizations in the community. We want to put everybody out there and help each group and just become more of a community organization, not just football boosters. We want to show how our athletes are growing as students, young men, and how they present themselves, and it is really growing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Casey, thank you very much for everything that you guys do. Yes.
I have one more thing. Senior parents, Sunday, 4 o'clock at the high school field. Put that on your calendar. This Sunday, 4 o'clock, white shirt, jeans. Your player and you will be getting a photo taken. Please don't forget.
All right, there you have it. Casey, thank you very much for coming. And y'all give it up for Casey here tonight on the show. All right, we are dwindling down the time that we have on the air. So before we step aside and end the show this evening, we'll break down the matchup. Luke, you're going to be the man that's in my position Friday night, and I'll expound on that a bit more in a bit. What are you looking at of this ballgame for the Hornets?
Well, I'm looking at us to continue really our success from the prior game week. Another complete game. We played so well on offense and defense and made a few special teams plays that really, jolted our momentum. So I'm really looking for those things. O-line and D-line do their thing and try to really control the game and help our playmakers, help the running backs and receivers get time and get them in some open field and let them do their job.
All right, there you have it. You heard it from your play-by-play guy that is going to be taking the play-by-play reins Friday night alongside who's producing for us back at the station right now, Colin Neal. They are going to have the call Friday night as I will be in Utah with the Bearcats as we get ready for the Utah Tech game on Saturday. So, Luke, let me give you just the broadcaster's good luck handshake here. Best of luck to you guys, and best of luck to the Hornets there. I will be watching from our hotel room, so no pressure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do us for the Hornet Nation Coaches Show tonight. Again, please, before we go, just keep Brian Adams in your thoughts and prayers as they just go through this time of grief for him and his family. And on the count of 3, before we sign off this evening, let's give a big 1, 2, 3 sting 'em here tonight. 1, 2, 3.
Sting 'em.
Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Good night and God bless here tonight in Chick-fil-A.
This has been the Huntsville Hornets Coaches Show with head coach Rodney Southern. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Hornet pride lives on KSAT.